Hello my friends and welcome back. My name is Hana and today I'm doing a bronzer, blush and face palette declutter. I don't know, I'm a small YouTuber so I don't really need to have the disclaimer of like, because I don't get PR. I've gotten some things in PR but not because of my YouTube channel. So I don't have to put that disclaimer out there, but if you were curious, I do try to repurpose my makeup in a way. Obviously, if it's unsanitary and it's a really old product and I've really loved and used that product, I'm not going to give that to somebody else. But if it's a gently used product, I will pass it off to a coworker, or one of the ladies that works in the same school district as me, or I don't know. So, depending, like if I've never touched it, I might resell it on like Mercari or Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. I don't really have a soapbox to stand on. I see all the content creators, because I know these videos are really popular this time of year, doing that kind of disclaimer, and I don't know. Not that it doesn't apply to me, but I'm not big enough to be getting PR. Like, this is all my money. And I'm on a no buy, low buy for this year, and it will be rolling over into the next year. And so looking at what's in my collection is important for me because I need to see what exactly my collection consists of, what I'm missing, what I gravitate towards, what should have been smarter with my money with, and I hope this is a learning lesson because I don't just want to, throw my money out the window basically. So let's start with bronzers and face palettes because I really don't have that many. This basket is stored behind me on the shelving that you usually see in my videos. I don't know, when it comes to face-based products, I'm kind of like a holy grail person. I use the one for a very long time. How do I even explain this? My skin tone doesn't really change. Like my undertones don't change. I might go a little bit lighter in the wintertime versus the summertime where I have more of a tan. Living out here in the desert, it does snow out here, so I do lose some sunlight in the wintertime versus in the summer where it's like only daylight all day, every day. But my base products don't really change. They don't really shift. And the way that like I can play with color with the blushes and highlights and eyeshadows kind of thing. So I really don't have too many. I'm going to take my face palettes out and start with my bronzers. And like this is all of them. This is all of them right here. And we'll see how good I do with them because I'm also one of those people where, again, because I don't get PR, I have to be smart with how I shop for my items, and I don't know. I don't need to have a lot of bronzers. I don't. I would rather have like a lot of other things like eyeshadow palettes than bronzers. But let's start with the Fenty Matchstick. This is in the shade Amber. This is a cooler kind of contour shade. I love this product. This will probably be the last declutter it survives because by the time next year comes around, this will be really old and it'll be too disgusting for me to use. But I love this for cosplay, especially in this like pen form. It's very easy to get it in the spots that I need to get in and kind of shape my face. I do want to try the Fenty bronzers in the compacts, but for right now, having the matchstick works for me. I know Amber, I believe, is a shade in the compact, but again, I just like to use this to chisel out my face and kind of change my face shape a little bit. So having it in this stick form is ideal for me. I prefer it this way. So I'm going to hold on to this. And this is the ABH cream bronzer in Golden Tan. I love this. I know ABH is on a lot of people's like shit list right now, but I I love this cream bronzer. I think it's really nice. You can put it over powder, you can put it under powder. It is just very, very nice to have on my skin. I don't know if I'll necessarily hit pan on this, but I want to keep using this. I really do enjoy this product, so I will hold on to it. And then this is the Soul Body Bronzer in the shade Light. And I got this bronzer before I got the ABH one. And I like this. Not just because of its price point, but the product, I think, performs very similarly to the ABH one. I think I am going to declutter this one though, because I just don't think this is the right shade for me. I do think that these run a little bit darker, but the undertone for Light isn't mine. This has more of like a red base to it, and I don't like a red base face product because that's not my undertones. My undertones tend to be more yellow neutral leaning, and red just is very striking and it doesn't complement my face. So I'm actually going to declutter this one, but maybe I'll buy it in medium if it's still around. I hope that they don't discontinue this because, like I said, this is a really nice product. This just isn't the shade for me. And then this is the Kiko Milano blush from their spring collection, the Blossoming Beauty Floral Bronzer in the shade 1 Golden Honey. And I didn't anticipate to like this bronzer as much as I did. It does have a bit of a floral scent to it, but not anything too overwhelming or overpowering. This is a really pretty blush. I like this more in my transition time in springtime when I'm coming out of the winter months and coming into the summer months, because I do drop like, I don't know, a shade in the wintertime because, again, it does snow, it does rain where I live out here in the desert, and it's just natural. So in the springtime, this is like this is like my perfect kind of bronzing shade. I don't like a bronze that's anything like too deep or too red leaning. I kind of like more of like a contour kind of shade, but I also don't want to go too cool. So I really do like this, and this is, I think they re-release this shade every year. It's just a new packaging. So I'm going to hold on to this one. It might stay in my collection for one more year and then I might declutter it. I don't know. Again, I don't have that many bronzers, so it's not that difficult. And then this is one that I'm on the fence about. This is the Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade Tantric. This doesn't exist anymore. Marc Jacobs, I heard that they were coming back. I heard that they're not coming back. I don't know, but the way that this bronzer had a grip on the YouTube beauty community for years. I didn't buy this from Marc Jacobs. I actually bought this from TJ Maxx, not this year, but I think last year. But as you can tell, I haven't really reached for it. Like, I haven't really used it, and I don't know if that was because Marc Jacobs was becoming a company that doesn't exist anymore, like as far as their makeup is concerned, or if I just had other things. So I don't know. I'm gonna put this in a maybe section for right now because I have another product that I want to talk about before I make a choice on this one. So let me put these back in its home. And then let's talk about face palettes. So this is the Kaleidos Charisma Contour Palette, and mine is in the shade Warm and Medium. And as I'm filming this, I've already purchased, and I'm sure the video has already posted by now, but they're releasing a new trio palette. I'm kind of excited to get it and compare. I loved this palette when I got it. This was like my go-to bronzer for the longest time. I was also using this setting powder on my under eye and kind of using this to contour with the Fenty Matchstick. Like, I only had these two items in my collection when I started filming in 2021. But I don't really use these two products. I kind of only reach for the bronzer if I'm even reaching for this bronzer. I have other bronzers that I kind of like a bit more, but I'm gonna hold on to this for the comparison. and for the history of the brand. Claydos has taken on many different forms, and it's kind of interesting to see the different forms that it has taken. So I'm going to hold on to this for now. I'm sure this will get decluttered eventually when I'm not feeling so sentimental about it, but because it is a brand that I like, and I don't know, I like company history, I am going to hold on to this one for right now. And then this is my Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm palette. I love this face palette. It is discontinued and not available, but I do reach for it quite often. I do use these shades a lot. It's not my ideal highlight and my ideal blush, but in a pinch when I'm getting ready for work and I might be running late, I know that I can reach into this face palette and still pull out a very pretty look. And I don't know, I really do like this bronze contoury shade, and kind of mixing them together gives me my ideal perfect bronze that I'm looking for. So this isn't going anywhere. I do enjoy this, and I think this is one of their better face palettes to date. And then this is the Vive face palette. Mine is in the shade Dusk. This is the Dimension face palette. And this was limited edition for their summer autumn. This is like fairly new to my collection, but I feel like I've had it for a long time, and I love this face palette. Again, it kind of looks similar to my Nudegasm palette as far as like color story goes, sort of, kind of, a little bit. It's kind of similar in color story where, you know, you have like the golden champagne tone and then like the pinky kind of blush, and then like a warmer and a cooler like kind of bronzing shade. But I like this in the summertime. I think this is really pretty. I think Vive has a wonderful formula, and I'm really happy to have this compact in my collection. And because I love it so much, I want to purchase other things from Vive, and I'm kind of excited to see what else they have coming out in the future. But I'm gonna hold on to this one as well. And then this is the product that has me on the fence about the bronzer. So this is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Glow Trio, and this is a blush, a bronze contoury kind of shade, and a highlight. I don't think that the highlight is ideal, and a lot of people said that they were disappointed with the quality of this compact, this trio, and that they wish that it was just one of the bronzers, maybe with a coffee scent in the coffee packaging. I know the packaging was like a lot of the I don't know, selling standpoint for a lot of people who did end up reviewing this product. This is one of the last, I think this is the last item Marc Jacobs released before they kind of went MIA. And like the other face palettes that I mentioned, this was my favorite go-to, especially when getting ready for work. I do like this blush and this bronzing shade. This is a little bit more cooler, so it kind of satisfies my more like contoury kind of bronze. The highlight, like I said, isn't the best, but it's not necessarily bad. Like, I'm comfortable to wear this when going into like a work setting, or maybe somewhere where like I don't necessarily want to, you know, let people know that I'm a weeb and cosplay and have a crazy, you know, duochrome highlighter collection at home. And I just want to, you know, be normal. I'm not ready to give this one up yet, but I don't know. I think both of these products, I think I'm holding on to them for the sentimental value because Marc Jacobs was such a huge, like, it was a big brand on YouTube beauty, basically. And for me to get the last product that they ever released is kind of sentimental to me, especially because, like, when I bought this product, I was like, starting my channel. And so for sentimental reasons, I think I'm going to hold on to these two and try my best to use them. But they've definitely just barely survived a declutter. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they'll necessarily survive next year. And then this is my Pat McGrath like blush palette. This isn't going anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have a contour shade. It's just blushes, but I do keep it with my face palettes. This has been my product that I've been using non-stop. Like, I think every video I've come out with since I've gotten this palette has used this palette. This is a fan favorite of mine, almost borderline a holy grail, so it's not going anywhere. So let me just put everyone back in its home, and that's that. I don't know. Contours, bronzers are pretty easy for me because I really don't have a whole lot. Like I'm happy with just having this. Like this is what I'm content with. So let's shift this over and get into blushes. This is where I have a problem. This is where I buy everything under the sun, and I don't need to. We'll see how much I declutter. We'll see how far it goes. So let me just kind of pull everything out. And let me see what I have. I don't separate my ColourPop, you know, from the rest of my collections. I do see that in some videos where, you know, ColourPop is in its own section. I don't get PR from ColourPop, so I don't have like a ton of ColourPop, so I don't know. It can fit with the rest of my collection. Okay, so I guess since we just finished off with a blush palette, I'll talk about this one. This is the NARS face palette, and this is the Exposed Cheek palette. This came out spring of 2019, I think. Obviously the color story is exactly the same. This was my this was the only set of blushes I had in my collection. Like I used to have a very minimal makeup collection. And that was because I was very limited on what shades I was allowed to wear at work. I think I'm gonna use this one more time and kind of say my goodbyes to it. I used to love these two shades, and then, I mean, I loved all of these shades. I don't really wear too many like pinky tones, but these ones are really pretty, and I loved this highlight. And I love the packaging of this. It kind of has like this water, like marbly kind of texture to it, and I love these. I just love this color story, but again, these shades are shades that they release every time they have a face palette. It's not even for holiday. It's just every face palette, every cheek palette are these shades. I just think that this formula was something different and something new. So I think it is time to say goodbye to this, but I think I'm gonna use it one more time before I say my goodbyes. Maybe I'll use it on camera. I don't know. I really love this packaging, and I have like a lot of like sentimental value to this. But I really don't reach for this, and I haven't reached for it all this year or really last year. So that's 2 years in a row. I think it's time to say goodbye. Okay, and then these are my favorite blushes. I have all three of the Melt Duo blushes. I believe these are now officially discontinued. I got mine when they sold out and brought them back and restocked them. So this is Buzzkill. It started with this one. I really do love this one. Like, I still have my stickers on my mirrors. I love this. This is a very, really pretty peachy, kind of corally kind of shade. I can use them as like a blush and a highlight, or I can mix them together. They kind of remind me of the Super Shock formula. And then this is the Queen Bee. I love this one. I didn't think I was gonna like this, and I didn't think this was gonna work as well on me as it does, but this is so pretty. Obviously, I'm not getting rid of these. I just want to show you how pretty these blushes are. And then this one is Raw Honey. This one is more of like the mauve tone. I love kind of just reaching for this one as like a highlight. It's like a standalone highlight. I love these. I wish that they would kind of do a, I don't know, like a bee palette maybe. These were really nice blushes, and these were the kind of releases from Melt that made me super excited and love the brand. Melt is one of my favorite makeup brands, and I don't know, I just feel like lately they haven't really been giving the magic that came with, like, you know, these kind of products, but these aren't going anywhere. These are staying with me in the home. Okay, and then this is the Be Perfect Scorch Blush in the shade Magma. It's like a baked, it's a baked formula, like a baked blush, and it is the dreamiest orange shade, and I really do enjoy this blush a whole lot. I'm gonna hold on to this one and try to use it up as much as I can this year. I'm not a huge fan of this packaging. It is very square, it is very bulky, but I mean, the product is really, really nice. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. And then these are the ColourPop face palettes. I think these are discontinued. I haven't seen these, but this is the Born to Blush, and this one is At First Crush, and they're okay. I reviewed these and I used them for a little bit. I don't think I reached for these all year. The blushes themselves are nice. This contour shade, this bronzing shade, actually has hard pan. The Super Shock formulas are actually really nice, and they stay pretty soft in this kind of packaging. If I can, I don't know, if I can pull these out of the packaging, I think I will hold on to the Super Shock because the Super Shocks are really pretty. It's the blushes that don't really do much for me. I wish that the blushes were the matte Super Shock formula, but they're not, and they don't last as long. And I don't know, I have better quality from ColourPop, and I just have better quality blushes, especially in these tones. So I'm going to try to depot the Super Shock highlights and maybe put them in like a magnetic palette kind of thing. But I'm going to get rid of these ones. Okay, and then these... And then I have this Unearthly Cosmetics Charmed Blush. You can't even really see the blush because it is such this like neon pink. I love this. I think this is such a pretty, pretty blush. And I'm not a pink blush kind of gal, but this is super pretty. So I'm holding on to this one. I want to try some of the other blushes from Unearthly Cosmetics. Their Sleepover collection, I don't know, I'm still on the fence about the eyeshadow palette, but I don't know. This was such a neat collection, and they came out with 2 blushes, and I don't remember why I only got this one, probably because that's probably all I could afford, but I wish I had both of them. I think they were really pretty. And then this is another Melt blush. This is actually a cream blush in Golden Hour. I love the Melt cream formula. They are very pretty. This one is more of like the corally peachy kind of shade, and I love this in the summertime. I mean, I love this year-round. This was like my go-to blush year-round. I've kind of been using more of like a satin finish kind of blush. I haven't really been reaching for my cream blushes, but this isn't going anywhere. This is such a nice product, and I want to get it in other shades. I guess let's talk about the cream blushes since I'm on the cream blushes. This is the ColourPop blush stick in Winona, or Winona Forever, or Winona. It doesn't quite say. Winona Forever. I didn't know how much I was going to love this. This is a discontinued shade, but it is such a pretty brownie red. These color sticks, okay, so there's the color sticks that come in like that pink packaging, the original ones. And I had the strawberry collection, and I thought those were okay. They weren't my favorite, but I had them and I used them. And then they came out with this new packaging, and I think the cream blushes in the collections, the formula is so much better. This performs just as well as this Melt cream blush, where I can apply it, I can blend it and tap it out. It is really, really pretty, and there is a lot of longevity to it. And it doesn't do anything weird over powders, you know, because sometimes I forget that I'm using a cream blush and then I set my face. But this is actually really, really nice. This isn't going anywhere, and I love Winona Ryder. She's like my favorite actress. I wouldn't say of all time, but her and Natalie Portman are like my, that's who I want to look like. So I take a lot of inspiration from their fashion and makeup aesthetics. And so this one is just like a fan favorite for me. And then these are the Rare Beauty mini blushes. I got this as a trio last year for holiday. I haven't really reached for these much, but the shade Peace, I believe, is now a part of the official line. And Hope is their, like, the signature shade. And did Bliss also, like, did these three become a part of the permanent line? I know these two were just for the holiday release. I need to use these more. These might not survive. These survive this declutter, but I don't know if they'll survive another one. I want to like these as much as other people like them. I don't know. They're okay. Like, they're nice, and I'm glad that I have them in minis and not a full size. So I can I don't feel as bad about throwing these away. But I think I'm going to use these. I don't know. I was going to say, I think I'm going to use these one more time and see. I'm going to hold on to these and try my best to use them. And they survive one more declutter, but if I don't use them in 2023, I'm not holding on to them. And then this is the Odin's Eye Soul Mane Sunlight Love Blusher in Peach Gleam. And I love the packaging of this. Like, this is very nice packaging. And it is an orange blush. This shade is almost too deep for me. I wish I went with the other orange, but I didn't know. On my monitor, that looked more pink leaning, and this one looked like more of like a true orange. This is more for like deeper skin tones, but I do like this. I have to use it very lightly. So I'm gonna hold on to this because I do enjoy the formula and I do enjoy the shade. I don't know if it'll survive another declutter. Like, I might get frustrated enough that I just buy the actual shade, you know, that. I'm going to hold on to this one even though it is a little bit too deep for me. If I go in with a lighter hand, it's fine. And I don't know, it's a really pretty blush. So that one stays. Okay, and then let's talk about these two Nabla products because I really wanted to like these. And this too has that same texture as like that NARS cheek palette. But this is the shade Soft Nude. And then I have the Flushed Terracotta. And if you saw my review video for these, I don't know, I was disappointed in these products. So these two products right now look like they have a tone to them. It's actually just a cream base. Like, it doesn't actually have any color, and it's actually, touching it right now, it's kind of hard based, or like I want to say hard panned, but that's not the right word. Like, I'm trying to warm it up in my finger and like I can't really get product off. I don't know. I really wanted to love these products. I really did. I just don't think that they're good. I don't. And for these shades, I have these shades a few times over in different formulas that I like. So I'm actually going to declutter these two. Well, and since we're talking about Nabla, I do have the iconic Nabla blush. I feel like everybody just before the pandemic was talking about these, and then everyone during the pandemic bought them. But this is in the shade Truth. This is a beautiful formula. Mine is fairly old because, again, I did buy mine at like the tail end of 2019, beginning of 2020. It survives one more declutter, but it is getting older in age, and it's so pretty. I love this formula so much. It's just like a base. I just love this formula so much because it's like a baked formula, but it looks just like the Super Shock formula, like on the cheek. I don't know if that's really showing up. It's really pretty. It lasts one more year in my collection. So let's talk ColourPop because I bought 2 different trios, but let's talk about my favorite one first. And this was from the, they're like spring eyeshadow collection. Not this year, but was it last year? Was it 2021? I think. But, oh God, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Viole. Voile. This one is more of like a matte bronzy kind of finish, and I love this. This is such a nice, I thought this would be more for a deeper tone, but I do a little bit of like my contour and put this on top, and this is a really pretty shade. I'm a huge fan of the Super Shock formula. These are my favorite blushes of all time. I prefer this formula. This one is Georgette, and this one is actually a matte finish. And I didn't think I was gonna like this one as much as I do, but it is actually super gorgeous. I do reach for this one off camera and on camera. Looking at it right now, I wanna play with it. It is very, very pretty. And then I believe this one is still available. I don't know if these 2 are still available, but I know this one is. And this is Chiffon. And it's kind of like that Hades compact. But this is just such a pretty, I can use it as a highlight. I can use it with a matte blush. I can use it by itself. It is just so pretty and I love it. And they now have it, I think it's a part of the permanent line. So this is more of like an off-white cream packaging, and now it just comes in the standard white. And then I have I forget which collection this one was from as well. I think it was like a wine collection. But these are kind of more like mauve-y, pinky kind of tones. And again, with the deeper shade and Sounds Grape. I didn't think I was gonna like this. I thought this was gonna be too deep for me. But I really enjoy this. This one is very nice, and I kind of patting this one on first and topping it with the chiffon is just, it's really pretty. And this one has more of like a creamy pink base to the packaging. This one is At First Blush, and it is just, it's really pretty. It's like a nice purpley kind of pink tone. I do enjoy this. When I use the She's in Parties palette, I will pair it with this blush, and it's a hit. It's really pretty. And then this one is No Way. This one is kind of the one I use the most. Ooh. And it is just this really pretty, like these 2 paired together is just gorgeous. I love the Super Shock formulas. If I could get all of them, I think I would, but like I'm happy with the 6 that I have, and I don't know, I want to hold on to them until I hit pan, even if they get old and disgusting. Okay, so then that leaves me with my Kaleidos blushes, and I don't think I need all of them. Like, I know I don't need all of them, but let's start with this one, the red one. I didn't think I was gonna like red blushes. This one I like. It's not super like bright Clifford red. It's actually very complimentary. I can go very bold, or I can use it very lightly and dust it on my cheeks. And doing different cosplay like makeup effects with this has been really nice. So I am gonna hold on to this one. I don't know why I still have this plastic card. So that one survives. I'll put that one to the side. That's a pink one. Oh, this brownie shade, I love. I reach for this one a lot, and I'll top it with chiffon or, you know, any of my other like shimmery kind of like pearlized blushes, or I'll use the highlight from the Pat McGrath palette first and then put this on top, and I can kind of like fake a Super Shock kind of effect. This one is really pretty. I believe this one is called Joyride. These don't have the shade names on them, but this one is really nice as well. And then this is a bright pink. This one is also kind of a bright pink. And this one's like an orangey tone. I'm gonna hold on to the orange one because I do like an orange blush, and this one is really pretty. So then it's down to these two. And realistically, I don't reach for this one as often as I do this one. But even this one, I don't know. It's kind of the same as this. Like, are these the same kind of like lavender pink shades? Do I need to have both of them? I don't think so. So I'm gonna hold on to the Unearthly Cosmetics, and I'm gonna actually declutter these two. These are just shades that I'm not really gonna reach for, so I don't really need to hold on to them. Okay, so let's see how many I am gonna declutter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am going to be decluttering 8 items out of my collection, and kind of having this be a bit more organized makes me feel a bit more relieved. I really don't need any more blushes. I really don't. But there's already some blushes that I want to add to my collection. I have a problem, but maybe I'll stay strong and I will save my money. But let me know in the comments down below, what blushes have you decluttered from your collection? Which ones are your holy grails? Did I declutter one of your holy grails? Did you actually love these Nabila 2 Reasons? How did you get them to work? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.